I need to just talk about Washington here for just a second before we talk about what this might mean for Jim Harbaugh and what this might mean for J.J. McCarthy. Washington had an outstanding season and has had an outstanding couple of years, frankly. We're talking about a football program that is going to finish 14-1 and the national title runner-up as they head into the Big Ten. Now, also in here, I don't mind saying it, this was a Big Ten championship game for which Washington and Michigan will meet again on October 5th of this year, and I can't wait for that. But Washington also showed in the last year of the Pac-12, there was still great football that was being played there because it was a furnace that was able to forge the Washington Huskies in a year in which the Pac-12 was one of the most competitive football conferences in America. Full stop. Michael Penix Jr. played an outstanding last couple of years, and you know his story by now. Coming back from blowing out both of his shoulders, blowing out his knee twice, right? Transfers from Indiana to Washington, follows Kalen DeBoer. They figure it out and as far as what the offense is supposed to look like, and then they let that dude do what he knows how to do, which is get the ball to his playmakers. Dylan Johnson wasn't full go in this one, but I don't think it would have made much of a difference. It was really those chances that Washington had to pull level with Michigan or even pull ahead that they just could not capitalize on. And this is one opportunity for Michigan to show, hey, we've been here once before. We've been here twice before. We understand we haven't played a national title game, but we know what this stage is like now. And they weren't overwhelmed by it. It was a loud atmosphere at NRG. You had Washington fans and Michigan fans going at it all night long. And now your favorite Michigan fan is going to give you the what for and the how now. I'm really excited for what Washington football is going to be going forward. Now, they're going to have to find a worthy replacement for Michael Penix Jr. We think that guy's going to be Will Rogers. I expect that will be just fine. Will was a great quarterback at Mississippi State, set all sorts of records there in the SEC, but you're going to have to try to find a way to replace a guy like Rome Odunze, and I'm not sure that you can. You're also going to leave a void there in leadership, but if you are sleeping on the Washington Huskies, you aren't anymore, right? I think going into 2024, their only task is to not be Texas Christian. That's it. You don't want to go out like Texas Christian went out in 2023 after finishing the national title runner-up in 2022. And the way in which they played this game also showed, okay, cool. We understand. We know what our weaknesses are. We know what we probably need to do to correct them, get better defensively, frankly, right, at all phases, because particularly at the linebacker and the defensive line positions, but the safeties and the corners were outstanding. They made plays when they could make plays. They just did not have the talent to withstand that onslaught of those great offensive linemen Sharon Moore's put out there, and Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards having superlative games, right? Shout out to Blake Corum, who also showed up in full Texas gear. Like, that dude had on the cowboy hat, had on the buckle, had on the jeans that were tight, had on the cowboy boots, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, Blake looked like he could Bronco buck. I'm not sure if he can, right? But them jeans going to be a little tight up there, dog. I'm just going to tell you as a dude to be getting on them saddles. I don't know if that's what you want, but I appreciate the look because he went in there with a job to do, and it was to go wrangle them Huskies, right? To stop Iron Will in his tracks. I run the Iditarod. Really great season for Washington, but I keep talking about Michigan as I'm talking about Washington because that's where your brain is now, man. That's the national champion. That's the national champion, which means Jim Harbaugh has accomplished something that Bo Schembechler did not accomplish. And anybody that wants to talk to you about Michigan football will tell you it goes Phil Yates, Fielding Yost. Phil Yates covers the NFL for ESPN. And then Bo Schembechler, right? And I had to double check this because I'm sure Bo Schembechler won a national championship. No, but that is the guy that Jim Harbaugh projects when he is on a football field. That is the guy that he loves the most. And I'm sure winning this national championship, he's thinking about that too. Because all the way, he had kept doing it his way. And if nothing else, we have come to respect Jim Harbaugh is going to do it the only way Jim Harbaugh knows how to do it. So now it is a man who turned San Diego into a power in the Pioneer League, which is a league in the FCS where they don't give scholarships, led Stanford to its first BCS bowl bid, produced Andrew Luck, went to San Francisco, coached that team to a Super Bowl appearance, lost that Super Bowl to his brother, went to Michigan, and rebuilt it into not just a national champion, but the kind of national champion that Michigan fans want to see, one that runs the football and plays hard-nosed, outstanding defense. And one more thing to add here. Jim Harbaugh managed to win a national championship in a 15-game season, having coached just 6 regular season games, 3 in the postseason. And for his efforts, he will pick up $3 million in on-the-field bonuses and $1 million for winning the national championship. This is a man who was forced to restructure his contract to be incentive-laden after the 2020 season. What a remarkable turnaround. And you know what? If Jim Harbaugh doesn't want to hear from you, he has earned that. When he says things like, who's got it better than us? You just got to go with it. When they say bet, you just got to go with it. It is a team that overcame its own sign-stealing scandal, one it generated, and still managed to win the national championship. We're like, hey, look, maybe it's because y'all know everybody's signals that y'all can win. They were like, oh, really? Cool, take it away. We don't care. We're going to run the ball, and we're going to get after you on defense. And we ain't got to bring pressure because we're good enough up front on both sides of the ball. Tremendous game for Michigan. Tremendous season for Michigan. And just so we're clear here, J.J. McCarthy did not have to do that much. 10 of 18 for 140 with 31 yards on the ground, and then 303 rush yards for Michigan, 104 for Donovan Edwards on 6 carries. Good grief, 2 TDs. Blake Corum doing what we know him to do, 21 carries, 134 yards, 2 TDs, and then Roman Wilson had 3 catches for 54 yards. I'm still kind of flabbergasted that this Michigan defense kept Michael Penix Jr. 70 yards under his passing average. He was 27 of 51 for 255. It's a man that throws for 325 a game. And 2 picks in this one after throwing just 9 all season long. Also, remember, they got him on the ground, which, by the way, is not an easy thing to do, let alone speed that guy up. Jalen McMillan, Rome Odunze did what they could. Dylan Johnson was just not the guy that he had been in November. 11 carries, 33 yards. You could see he was pulling at the ankle, and we know he's been battling injuries most of the year. Rome Odunze broke a rib, came back, and had an All-American season. I am looking forward to what we're going to do with Michigan going forward, because I have my thought about what they're going to be in 2024, and I think that's a great place to start, because with Jim Harbaugh and Michigan winning this national championship, they become just the 10th program since 1990 to have multiple national title teams. They are Florida State, Florida, LSU, USC, Ohio State, Nebraska, Clemson, Georgia, and Alabama. And now Michigan. Also means Jim Harbaugh won a national championship at Michigan before James Franklin won one at Penn State, before Ryan Day won one at Ohio State, before Lincoln Riley won one at Oklahoma or SC. You know, we can keep going down the list here because that's what it's going to be. That's what this is about. This is not just about Michigan winning the national championship. It's who did they beat in the race to get one first. If you like what you've seen, consider subscribing to the #1 college football show on YouTube, the Fox Sports app, or wherever you get your podcast.